Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised. Some of the topics at hand may not be suitable for children under 13 years of age.
Even though we make jokes on these topics, it doesn't mean that we don't think that they're very serious and should be treated with kid gloves. What we're trying to do is put out some information and hopefully open up other people's horizons and see that the issues that we're dealing with are real and need to be attended to.
Making light of a bad situation is sometimes the best way to get through it.
So without further ado, we shall continue on with the episode as per normal.
And welcome to Drunken Ramblings of a Sober Mind.
Absolutely. See you guys in a second.
Welcome to another episode of Drunken Ramblings of a Sober Mind. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Garen.
And today's topic is going to be all about bullying.
Let's get after it, y'all. Hit it.
Well, for all intents and purposes, there is really... It's broken down into 6 different categories. We got direct, indirect, physical, verbal, relational, and damage to property.
I love how you just jumped right in.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about bullying, let's talk about some bullying.
Let's get it on.
I got a few statistics here. It says 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people have been bullied or suffered of some kind of bullying. I mean,
where you at with that? You got bullied?
Yeah, I got bullied a few times, like on the bus and shit. People would...
Bus is like your primary target.
Well, okay, so first of all, I started school, I was barely 5 when I started, so I was always smaller than everybody. I remember people on the bus, they'd punch me and, try to push me out of the way, and, when I'm in...
ear flick?
Yeah, I got the ear flick, I got, that's how you find a person that's going to shoot up a damn school, is you keep fucking with them.
Yeah.
So eventually, you can punch me in the arm once or twice, I'm fine, all right, whatever. But you flick me in the ear every fucking day, and I get off that bus, and I just want to stab you in your goddamn throat. I mean, did you go through it?
I did, in the same situation on the bus. Since I've never... Here's the thing. I was raised by 3 generations of women. I had my sister, my mom, and my grandma. None of that leaves room for sports. All these women in my life didn't sit around and watch sports. They didn't work on cars. When you enter into a male-dominated sort of category by being a male...
which is kind of a bullshit shit show, because, just because you have a dick, you're thrown into a world that you're not used to.
Everybody says women are complicated, dude. Dude. No, I get women. Dudes, I'm lost in, I got a carburetor on not a 6.7 fucking blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's good?
Right.
Question mark? And so going into PE was a danger point for me, because, my ass is not athletic.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we throwing a ball at each other? I don't get this shit.
Fight or flight kicks in. You're like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Help! I need an adult.
Yeah, and dudes are cruel. They de-pants you.
I got that.
De-pantsing.
Yeah, I had I went to North my freshman year, and the quarterback of the football team, we were playing some handball or whatever, and he threw this ball that was about the consistency of a damn bowling ball right at my throat at 407 miles an hour and knocked the breath out of me, and then he almost kicked my ass because I stopped him from scoring. I'm like...
See, and I don't get that competitive... Okay, so I stopped you from crossing a chalk line.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking up my whole day?
Yeah, you know that mat that's on the wall behind the basketball goal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the goal, and he was trying to throw the ball to hit that to get a point, and he didn't, and hit me in the throat, and then wanted to kick my ass because he threw it wrong and hit me in the throat. I guarantee I wasn't trying to stop the fucking ball with my throat. Right. There's a lot of parts of my body that I would stop the ball with, but my throat was not one of them. So, So you get the direct bullying, like you said, guys, they want to fuck with you because, you're smaller than me, and
I've got so much testosterone, I want to fuck with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got the indirect, which, that's kind of like, girls sitting there talking shit behind each other's backs, and then what is it, caddy slut shaming, whatever. Which I'm still not understanding why girls can be sluts but guys can't. I mean, that just confuses the shit out of me. I've always been the kind of person, I don't care what your sleeping habits are. I really don't. You know what? You want to go out and fuck 12 guys a year? That's great. If you're a guy and go out and fuck 12 guys a year, that's great. I don't care.
I don't
need to know about it. Keep it behind closed doors. I'm good.
It's something that shouldn't affect another individual. But a part of growing up is you're figuring shit out, and that's going to play into a lot of this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Is children figuring their way?
Right. That's what pissed me off when these people, were sitting there. Oh, my kid's trans. Your kid is 6. Let your child be a child.
Why are you feeding it hormones?
Right.
You're doing permanent damage on it. My mom had the greatest quote ever because we got into this topic. She said, "When I was young, you know what I wanted to be? A fucking pony. Thank God my parents didn't send me to surgery to get a tail implant and shit. Like,
your mom would be hot with a tail.
Damn. But it doesn't
Mom,
make any
love
sense.
you.
These children, they don't have any concept of consequence. The frontal lobe doesn't finish developing, which is what
until you're like 25.
I think it's 25.
Yeah. So there's no point of trying to tell a child what they should and shouldn't be, what they can and can't be. A kid's going to tell you what they like and what they don't like. I mean, that's
at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah. I mean, my kid, he liked, my boy, he liked dolls for a while. All right, cool. I'm not going to, gay shame him or whatever. Then all of a sudden he's playing with Ninja Turtles and wanting to blow shit up. It's a phase. Kids go through them.
Yeah.
Oh, we do too. I mean, there's days I like listening to country music. There's days I like listening, most every day, thrash metal, death metal.
Did you play with action figures when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I had so many.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Did you ever go to your room, and be like, what do I feel like playing with today? Oh, I'm gonna play with G.I. Joes today. That's what I'm gonna do. And then you took just the G.I. Joes and went someplace and just played with the G.I. Joes? Or did you grab the big fucking trash bag full of mixed action figures? They're all in the same universe. You got Ninja Turtles fighting G.I. Joes. I mean, what style of play did you envision?
Why would you do that?
You monster!
You are a monster. Well, no, I tell you what. It really kind of depended. There was days that, what I really liked growing up was cars. I loved, getting out in the dirt, and I got my ass beat so many times from my dad running over my Matchbox cars and almost killing him. I had the G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles. There was days that, like if it was raining or something, you're stuck inside. All right, I'm only going to let this happen once, all right? Shh, don't tell nobody, but you guys are going to be in the same universe today. So I got G.I. Joes riding in Star Wars vehicles. I got, Luke Skywalker driving the Ninja Turtles van. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I'll tell you this. And this is a me-specific thing. The toys had to be similar in size. I had OCD at a young age. And so it didn't make any sense for me. Like, to see G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, that shit could happen. Okay? Because they're about this. Never once did I play with Barbies. Not because it was a chick's doll. Right. It was because that bitch was tall. It was unrealistic.
Yeah, she was a foot tall. Well, and that's why they started making the G.I. Joes the same size.
Right. Well, I think the G.I. Joes actually came that size first.
Well, because Ken's over there like, hey, look at my clothes.
Well, I know that Ken came in a different box. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he came in a box at all. He came in something, but it wasn't a box.
You know what I'm saying? But
you leave Stumpy alone.
We shame our kids. And this is going to play into later on in the conversation.
See, and this is where the verbal kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when our generation growing up, if you were a boy, you didn't play with dolls. You played with dolls. I'm sorry to say, but you were called a faggot, and that's that may or may not be PC, but that's what you were called. I mean, we grew up in a whole nother time.
Yeah.
What are you, boy? You queer? You playing with a doll?
Yeah.
Like, look, dude, you see this girl that I'm playing with here? You don't know it, but 12 years from now, I'm going to be pounding on her. We didn't. Well, right, we didn't know about any of that. We played with toys.
Well, you know what's fucking up America, and I've thought about this at great length, is parents. Parents are fucking up America.
Oh, yeah. By far.
The participation trophies, which we'll get into.
Yeah, I actually researched that. Oh, my God. It blew my fucking mind.
FYI statistics on the way, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, there's the parents shaming a small boy for playing with Barbies. Let that shit work itself out. You don't have to get involved. You don't have to interject your ideas onto your child's psyche. You don't, because that's what's fucking up America.
What was that? Kung Fu Panda. In that movie, I was watching with my kids. So in Kung Fu Panda, was it Oogway? Oogway says that in trying to alter the future, you will inadvertently create the future that you were trying to, divert.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what that's all
right,
about. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
So, I mean, if you don't let it play out, I mean, you could push your child into something that he may not be going into anyways.
Well, most sexual fetishes start by a taboo sort of situation where you put enough taboo spin on something, it becomes their fetish later on in life. And here's the thing: when you're a small boy,
nowadays, oh my God, you can't go to any kind of adult site. Not that I would, because that's
don't do that.
That's just nasty.
Just
but everything is like sibling or
yeah. Like, where did this come from? Like,
right.
Why is this the norm? Why is this the norm?
Right, exactly.
There's memes on Facebook.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I'm like, so I can't look at my sister like that, or my mom, or my aunt, or I love them, but
too weird.
Right.
And so as a small child, and because I mixed these universes, let's just say Barbie was a normal size and she was an Amazonian,
right?
And I'm sitting there on my sidewalk and I'm playing G.I. Joes. I got Ninja Turtles. They're fighting each other. There's a small semblance of Smurfette in every category. You got Lady Jane in G.I. Joe, right?
Oh yeah,
she's the only chick.
I think, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I can't remember.
What I understand
is... It was also 30 years ago, bro. I don't really remember.
That's the only thing I can think of is Lady Jane.
But she was a hard ass.
Oh, she's badass. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she even played for the other team. But the fact of the matter is...
Well, how could she? There was no other team to play for.
Oh, I mean, you're right. So, like, when you think of Smurfs...
No, there was... in Cobra's side, they had
that Russian chick.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You know what? I think that's kind of her accent. She
reminded me of that chick from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Natasha.
Yes, Natasha. Smurfs. How did they populate? They all ran a train on Smurfette.
Oh, no. Okay, because apparently you haven't watched children's movies lately.
No, not lately, no.
What is his name? Doogie Howser. Right.
I love that dude.
I know. I can't remember. I can see his face. Barney.
Right,
Barney and
How
Barney. God.
And it's so ironic. It's so ironic that he played Barney.
He played Neil Patrick Harris. There it is. Garen for the win. But he played in the new Smurfs movies, and they explained it. Papa Smurf made the Smurfs. Gargamel actually made Smurfette to infiltrate the Smurfs, and
he used pussy.
Well, I don't think that's how they work. I think it's not like that.
I think that's retrofitting an ideology into something that we figured out as a young...
Right.
But my point is, like, when you play, there was no female Ninja Turtle at the time. There is now. They introduced one probably a couple weeks ago into mainstream comics.
Well, I mean, there was no 6-foot fucking female rat either. So I mean,
So when you're wanting to pair up your action figures, you gotta do what you can. And you watch your mom and your dad and their interactions, and it
always made me wonder about the Ninja Turtles with April O'Neil, because, like, if you watch the cartoons from back in the day, her tits are always damn near hanging out of her shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it is so sexually driven, and you have 4 teenage male turtles. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how their sexual reproductive organs work or how their testosterone level is or whatever, but I'm telling you, when I was a teenager and a chick was walking around and her boobs were hanging out, I mean, we were
You
getting
look at
something.
them
We
like
were
it was
getting
launched.
right. We were getting something straight between us.
Right. and that's another thing. The action figure of April O'Neil. Nobody bought that shit. That was a weak ass action
That
figure.
bitch was flatter than a piece of paper.
There was no point in buying it. You wanted the one with the cool weapons, not the one with the news camera. That shit didn't make any sense.
Well, you can beat somebody's ass with a news camera, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's happened before.
Yeah, but they didn't make her anatomically correct in the action figure.
No.
I think if they would have, more kids would have bought it. I mean, you've seen Grandma's Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
Laura Croft, right?
Yeah. Laura Croft. That was my
Ooh,
Laura.
you can explore my pants.
Explore my tomb. You know, but like, so I'm on the sidewalk and I'm playing with giant Amazonian blonde bitch, you know, and she's married to Leonardo, whatever. When another kid comes down, they're like, "Bro, you fucking homo."
Right.
I'm learning a social structure here.
Right. I'm learning to be all inclusive. You should probably learn the same thing.
Yeah. But be that as, you know, you move on and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do this in public again.
Right. So now you're doing shit behind closed doors. And that's why, and that's another reason why gay people for the longest time wouldn't come out. Because as soon as they came out, I mean, they were just ridiculed and made fun of anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, this is bullshit. This is on us. As society, this is on us. Even with the bullying, with the verbal, you know, the name calling, you know, and judging.
That subject just came back around. We really reined it in. Go on. Sorry.
Okay, so all right, so now you go from that to the relational. The relational one is usually, like you said, a parent, you know, bullying you or cutting you down for something that you believe in, you say, you do, whatever. It's just it's not conducive to raising a child. I mean, you've got a finite amount of time on this world, and for you to have your beginnings just completely and totally torn out from underneath you because you can't be who you want to be or who you think you should be, you know, even if you're just learning yourself. I mean, we all went to college. I mean, I didn't pay to go to college, but I went to somebody's college, got drunk and seen some shit, you know. But I mean, for that to happen, it just that's why society as a whole is just fucked right now.
Well, like, to me, what you should do as a parent, I think real progress in America, what you do is you take this small version of you, stop inputting your beliefs and ideologies on the child, because that puts that child's thought process in a box. It's like religion, which is
Oh man, you took the words right out of my fucking mouth.
Religion is a big game of telephone, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want to be that guy, but like, you are regurgitating shit that somebody said thousands of years ago, and we'll have a whole different topic on this. I'm not trying to go on that whole venture.
Well, and that's like for me with the whole religion thing. You know what? It's a great set of ground rules. Cool.
Yeah.
The Ten Commandments, cool. I'll go with that. You know what?
Yeah.
My kids, if they learn nothing from a religion but that right there, I would be completely and totally fine with it.
Yeah, but we're interjecting things like gay's bad.
Right.
So now your kid had no idea how to hate. And now you're telling them being gay is bad.
Being
and
gay
you're
is
not
bad.
affecting that
Being
kid.
a different skin color is bad. Believing a different religion is bad. Not driving the same vehicle is bad.
Yeah, parents need to understand that they're
Where
not
does
just
it end?
affecting their child. They're affecting other people's children with your
Right,
child.
because if you raise an asshole, they're going to become an asshole that's going to raise other assholes.
Yeah.
And the cycle just continues.
You need to teach
Break
your child
the cycle.
Break the goddamn cycle. You know, you need to teach your child the bare minimum, how to not die. That's very important. Tell your child, don't jump off that because you're going to fuck yourself up, and then I'm going to have to take you to the hospital. I'm gonna
Every
be super
day.
upset. Yeah.
Every day I tell my kids, do not fucking jump off of there. Do not.
Don't do it. But at the same time, do you intervene? Like, do you rush over there?
No, hell no.
They got to learn, right?
The only time I ever like run to my kids is if there's like an unnatural blood curdling scream. That's when it's like, oh shit just got real. I gotta go.
Yeah, and then your arm is shaped like a Z. I'm going to take you to the hospital.
Right, like when my daughter broke her wrist. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, sometimes parenting's hard. You have to watch your child in action in real time.
Well, see, that's
mistakes.
I got a video on my phone. Actually, my son decided to grab one of his little cars that he has that he rides around in the back porch with, and he decided to take it up into one of his playhouses and go down the slide. And I told him, I was like, don't. Okay, just go ahead and do it. And he went down that slide. That front of that car hit. He face planted and barrel rolled and started crying. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I guess we learned not to do that again, didn't we?
I told you so.
Right. What else can you say?
Yeah.
Like, Daddy, you're so mean. Why are you laughing at me? Well, don't worry. I didn't just laugh at you. I videoed too.
Yeah, I literally said that 20 seconds before you did it. And you
Yeah,
just
what part
did
of
it.
don't do that? It's going to hurt. Did you not understand? And now that you're crying, you want me to hold you? No.
Yeah.
Walk it off. Cry it out.
So relationship, you're 100% right.
Yeah, relational. The relational is just that's what's
all your parents. That's all it is. It's all your
well, and not just your parents. I mean, like, okay, me growing up, I had grandparents and great aunts and uncles, and they always had an opinion about everything. Oh, I can't believe you're dating that black girl. Why? Why can't I date a black girl? I mean, I can't believe you're dating that Indian girl. She's a Native American, but whatever. Yeah. I cannot believe you're dating that Japanese girl. What? I never understood.
1940s.
Right, exactly. I never understood. I couldn't date
gooks and their zipper head mouths.
Right. You can't date nobody that ain't white. Well, that really narrows down the gene pool, doesn't it? I mean.
Yeah. What do I do if my thing is like I dig black chicks? What am I supposed to do then? Now it's a taboo thing, and now you get married to somebody that you're not exactly attracted to, and it turns into some sort of weird fetish that affects your marriage directly.
Right.
Because you're into the dark skin tone, and every interaction that you have with a chick with a dark skin tone, your little fella starts to salute her.
Right.
And that causes problems.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I'd like to get something straight between us.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's...
Yeah, there's weird... there's just... Relational is just bullshit. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree. Relational bullying, fuck it. Not cool. All right, so the next one we have is damage to property. Bitch, you fuck my shit up, I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Daddy's coming back, because as big and bad as you think you are with that baseball bat, when I get a hold of one, I'm gonna swing it a hell of a lot harder than you
break
can.
Break through the back windshield. She got all the bootleg snacks. You know what I'm saying?
2000 shit. Bitch be snoring and not even fucking sleeping.
Yeah, I mean,
How are you going to throw a brick through your significant other's car and be like, well, he thought I was crazy?
you just proved him right.
Yeah.
Like, what is the matter with you? Why are you letting another person affect you so much that you are now throwing a brick through somebody's fucking shit?
And I've learned with
You're
bullying.
gonna get arrested.
Right, exactly. Your ass is going.
Everybody knows you did it, bitch. You put it on fucking social media.
Right, yeah.
You know?
I can't believe baby daddy didn't pay me my child support, so I took out his window.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it says here that he didn't pay your child support, so you took out his back window. You can't prove it.
Yeah.
You proved it for us. Thank you, though.
In 2019, it's a phenomenal time to be alive in this regard, because everybody has those little ring devices, the doorbell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Oh, yeah, I've
God.
got cameras on my house. I mean, I didn't want them. I didn't want them, but, here we are, because I got people stalking me because, of it being... I'd say that's relational. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But, all right, so now we've gotten into how the media affects bullying. It amplifies it. It really, truly, I mean, social media is the worst thing that ever happened to us.
Well, you make a martyr out of somebody. And
Right. These kids that are shooting up schools. Okay, this is ridiculous. So I did some research on this one. All right. So mass shootings between, I did a little bit of, just a little bit of research. Okay, so mass shootings between 1966 and 2012, there was between 90 and 292 in the United States. Between 2000 and 2016, the mass shootings actually equal 0.2% of all homicides in the United States.
Which is a
But the way
ratio.
Right, but the way that people are making it out to be, it's like, oh my God, mass shootings are killing everybody. Well, no, they're not. And then another statistic I found was handguns are actually the number one mass shooting weapon. But we don't talk about that neither. And then, I mean, it boils down to, mass shootings with 10 or more victims. There's 9 during Trump's presidency, 8 during Obama's. But mass shootings, they broke down between, Trump's got 37, Obama had 31 or 33, Bush had 16, Clinton had 19, Bush Sr. had 5, Reagan had 3. But yet again, it all boils down to these poor kids are being so doped up and whatnot that, these drugs are driving them into depression, which is making people see them as an easy target. They're being bullied. I mean, these poor bastards, before the 1950s, antidepressants were actually opioids and amphetamines. And they later restricted them because of the side effects and being a little bit addictive.
Well, there's so much that was legal. I mean, I was, and it's funny because I made Shelly, my girlfriend, watch Tombstone for the first time the other day. And remember Maddie? She's dipping her finger on the laudanum.
Right.
She's like, what is laudanum? I'm like, oh, you have no idea. What kind of shit came out in the cocaine came out in the 1800s.
Coca-Cola had cocaine in it, but it was such a minute amount.
You can't even get mad at them for making some shit addictive.
Well, the cocoa leaves are still in it, hence Coca-Cola. But they took the cocaine properties out of it because they use the cocaine. They take the cocaine property out of it for medicinal uses, and then they give them the cocoa leaves for the flavor.
I believe opium was it opium or heroin that started as a cough syrup? It was one of them.
That's
laudanum was a cough syrup,
right? But
that had
heroin, cocaine,
cocaine,
nicotine,
you do know that, and it all starts with medicinal purposes, which lands us right in the marijuana age, where we started with recreational, and now we're learning the medicinal purposes, which are great.
Right.
There's a great number of medicinal purposes for marijuana. And now we're trying to shrug off.
Well, there's a lot of drugs that have, medicinal purposes. Like if you microdose like shrooms, they're finding there's doctors and whatnot that are microdosing with mushrooms and psilocybin, and they're actually controlling people's PTSD with it.
Yeah. They did the same thing with ecstasy.
Right, exactly. If you microdose. Yeah, and microdosing with acid's the same way. Which I don't know how in the hell microdosing with any kind of hallucinogenic would actually create a good scenario.
It's the body high. It makes you think of things in a more positive view. When you microdose LSD, you're aiming for the body high, not the actual hallucinogenic properties, because it starts off as a slow ramp. You start feeling, I feel pretty good. It relaxes your muscles. It gets you untense. And then what it does is it adjusts your eyes to start seeing movement a little bit differently. And then it goes up from there. So I actually, being in law enforcement in 10 years, I've dealt with somebody, and man, I was pissed because I was going through their wallet to inventory their stuff when I was booking them in. And there's a stamp, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking weird. You're like, I don't know, 20 years old. Do you even know how
stamps work?
Yeah. Do you know how this works, bro? And there'd be like at least 2 guys a fucking week that's like, I don't understand how mail works. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cute. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why do you have a stamp? And he's like, oh, you need to get your fingers off that. Oh shit! Immediately.
Yeah.
And there were little pieces, I mean like pin-sized pieces torn off of it. It's like a microdose. I'm a roofer. I was like, hold on, you're going to have to back up.
Microdosing as a roofer?
You're up top, this sounds like
a bad idea.
Yeah,
like all the way around.
He's like, no, dude, it's not like that. You take just a corner, just a small little piece, and it gives your body the sense of relaxation and positivity. Which is bullying is 100% negative,
right?
And so like if you're in a negative situation, that's where the chemical play comes in. When people become addicts, you're getting bullied by peers, You're getting bullied by your parents. You're getting bullied by your girlfriend.
Well,
Who
and
thinks
the-
she's out of your league.
Right,
You
and-
start covering it.
And then the bad thing is these people that are being bullied, they start putting them on antidepressants and whatnot. Right, like I said, I don't understand this because, like you said, the frontal cortex of your brain is not completely developed until you're at least 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So antidepressants can cause suicidal thoughts and behavior in children under 25. Imagine that.
Fascinating.
Did you know in 1998 there was only 15 million people prescribed antidepressants in the United States?
What was that year again? Put that back
1998.
out. 1998.
Yeah,
We
we
were
were,
18 years old.
we were juniors. No,
Yeah.
I was 17. I was
yeah,
remember
that's
I was a young guy.
Youngin.
So by 2012, there was 40 million people prescribed antidepressants.
Quick math, and I suck at math.
Can you break that down? What was the original number?
15 million,
15 million.
right?
So in order to get to 40, you not only have to double it, but you add a little extra, right?
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy.
that's
what?
like double and then another 2/3.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of
is
people
it
on
helping
antidepressants.
America? If what you're doing,
Okay, well, hold on. Let me throw this at you. So the antidepressants in 2012 went up to 40 million people, right? What year was Obama elected?
2009?
2008.
2008. Okay. In Obama's administration, there was 31 to 33 different mass shootings. Okay. Bush, who everybody thought was the great evil, there was only 16 mass shootings in his 8 years. Clinton, there was 19. So we're going back to Clinton was in office in 98. So 16. So now we've almost tripled the amount of people on antidepressants from Clinton to Obama.
I like how you did that just then.
Yeah. So now we're up to 30.
Looking up facts and shit.
Right. So now we've got between 35 and 37 mass shootings, but people, they keep saying, oh, well, there's 2,100 mass shootings, blah, blah, blah. No. Okay. So our gun violence deaths and what is it? 90% of all gun deaths are suicide related. I mean, or self-inflicted gun wounds. I mean, whether it be accidental or on purpose, shooting your cousin for fucking your other cousin, whatever. Somehow or another, it's going to be self-inflicted gun wound or, one-on-one. If you took out, Chicago, Detroit, Kansas City, and St. Louis, took out the murder rates of those 4 cities alone, we'd be 4th from the bottom of murder in the world. So, I mean, whether they're on antidepressants, whether they're depressed and need to be on antidepressants, I don't know how an antidepressant works. I've never been on one.
Well, it depends on what.
It's something to do with your chemical makeup in your brain, which I understand. I mean,
there's several things though.
Right.
That's what America doesn't seem to understand. Is you could get on the wrong medication and think it's the right medication, and it's actually the wrong medication.
son of a bitch.
I saw the whole thing go down.
Yeah, right down into my beard. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to let you listen to this band, the Leo Project. They were kind enough to let us use their music, and we're going to get at it. I guess.
We're gonna go urinate. Urinate.
You're a 9, buddy. I think you're cute too.
That's what's up.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be white black.
Okay, and back at it, Leo Project. If you guys really like them, check them out. They've got all sorts of different places you can check them out. Great guys. Seen them a bunch of times. All right, so we're going to get back into it with participation trophies. This is something that blew my mind. All right, Garen. So, when do you think the participation trophy first was implemented?
Well, my guess was I believe in the early 2000s. That was my original guess before I obviously knew the information.
Survey says
Ding, ding, ding.
no,
Oh.
not even close. Okay, so the participation trophy was actually first mentioned in a paper called the Evening Independent. It was in Massillon, Ohio, February 8th, 1922.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was way off as well because, the way everybody puts it out,
For
they're
those
like,
young
oh,
viewers listening, that was way before the cell phone.
well, I don't know. If you see that solid movie with Charlie Chaplin, they got
you're
the time
right.
traveler, they
You're
think,
right. You're right.
because they don't know what the hell that woman is talking to in her head. So there sure as hell wasn't any hearing aids that were that small back then either. Hold on.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. So, 1922. So, millennials, you were off the hook. You are no longer going to be, you'll still be associated with it, but you're not going to be blamed for it.
On the line of topic because participation trophies just recently got into speed, and it's kind of a fallback for our generation to be like, well, you millennials and your goddamn participation trophies.
Well, what the hell? What generation are we?
Generation X /
Millennial.
I think we're called Zillennials.
See, I don't. Nothing against them, but I don't want to be lumped in with them either.
Well,
I mean, I have a house. I have 2 cars.
We're placing
A family. I drive to work. I drive 30 minutes to work every day. I'm not living 4 blocks away from there, living on a keto diet and trying to Uber everywhere and ride a bicycle because my fat ass, if I got on a bike, I would get hurt. I know I would. The bike would either get hurt or I would get hurt. One of us is going down.
I know I'm about to have a heart attack. I know that.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, just thinking about it. But here's the thing. Whose fault are millennials? This is America. This is America's problem right here, right? We've got this newer generation that are in their 20s, and we're like, oh, millennials are the fucking devil.
But
Why? Why is it the millennials' fault how they got raised? That shit doesn't make any. When you really break it down on a mental scale, who raised the millennials into being millennials? And I'm not sure if millennials are mainly us or the previous generation. We're in that gray area.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because, we're old enough to have millennials.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, that's scary.
I don't want to talk about that.
Sorry for dating us. But, so, okay. So, you got millennials that I don't even know. Because I'm not really sure where we became, so conscious about everything, really. Okay. It's like millennials, they're like, well, my kid can't get on that playground. Why? It's not sanitary. It's metal, blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker, when we were kids, you went... there was no guarantee.
Get your goddamn mouth off of that fucking... You don't know where that's been? Oh,
there was no guarantee that you were...
sweetheart.
Right. There was no guarantee that you were coming home alive going to the playground when we were kids. Everything was made out of metal.
Yeah.
Everything... And you only went when it was 212
metal
degrees
isn't
outside.
Soft.
No.
I'll
not
tell
at
you
all.
that. When
No.
you hit your face off of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, actually, you know what? I think I would rather deal with the metal than I would the plastic. Because...
Static electricity.
Right. Your kid gets on the top of the... You're right. Your kid climbs to the top of this piece of shit plastic fucking structure that, they're like, well, it's more standard now that we have these great big monuments to what? It's plastic and metal, and it's a good way to get fucking hurt. It really truly is.
And this is fun. So, what's the biggest problem with the metal playground? Tetanus.
Well, except for the fact that your skin like congealed to the metal when
because it got hot.
Yeah, it's 400,000 degrees outside.
But you got rust. You have rust all over that son of a bitch.
But we all had tetanus shots.
Boom! There it is. You were vaccinated. Oh shit! I'm sorry, microphone.
Vaccinated?
You were vaccinated.
What? What is this vaccination that you speak of?
Right, exactly. And we've got a whole bunch of people. Well, vaccinations cause autism, like in 0.003%.
Okay, I was listening to a podcast one day, and there was a guy that actually he's either with the CDC or he actually he studies all these different abnormity, or what the fuck what is the word I'm looking for? Abnormalities. Any kind of abnormalities that we have as like a birth defect or whatever. So they have come to figure out that you can actually figure out whether your child has autism before they are old enough to even get the vaccination. So sitting there saying that, oh, my child got autism from a vaccination. Well, that's kind of bullshit because your child probably had autism beforehand. You know, we have a friend that they didn't figure out he had autism until he was 30. I mean, how the hell does that work? Really? He was 30 and now...
Yeah, and I'll tell you something about autism. Going back to the...
Oh, you want to talk about being bullied? Them autistic kids, them poor bastards.
Well, it was a 13-year-old girl that I was dealing with that her mom was shoving hormones in her face because she wanted to be a boy. The reason why I dealt with it was because the autistic brother was like, bro, don't do that to my sister.
Right.
I'm gonna repeat that. The autistic person was like, those hormones are going to damage her body permanently, and she's not of the age to where she can make rational decisions.
Right.
And
it's
you're
not
just
fair.
catering to her.
Right. It's not fair to put a child into that situation. It's really not.
No, and so the autistic person had enough brains here.
See, that's the fucking thing. Okay, that's what a lot of people don't understand about autistic people. You think they're the people. I mean, they look at an autistic person and like, oh, that poor kid. Okay, autistic people usually are very, very intelligent. They just because they don't see the world the way that we do, or you do, or somebody else that you want them to see it, you want them to see it in a certain light. Just because they don't see it in that certain light does not mean that they're not intelligent.
It reminds me of Gary Vee on Joe Rogan's podcast when he's talking about tripling down at what you're good at. That's what autism is. Autistic kids have a thing. The hardest part about raising an autistic kid is that they have to figure out what that thing is. But once they find that thing, if it's trains,
right,
they could go straight into at an early age for railroad architecture. If it's music, they're a child prodigy.
I've seen autistic people. There was a guy, I don't remember where I've seen it, but there was a guy that could tell you he was autistic, and he could tell you every single president, every single vice president, and everybody that ran against them in every election ever.
Well, look at Rain Man.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You know, same thing. You could throw 100 things up in the air, and he'll count them as they fall, and it'd be like 1,432. Yeah, definitely 1,432. And you're just like, what the fuck?
Right. How does your brain work like that?
Maybe autism's the next step of evolution. I don't know. You know, you stop thinking that something's always wrong. It's always, and that's what, when we get back into participation.
46 and 2, just ahead of me.
Ooh, Tool reference. Dig it. And appropriate timing.
Right.
Check out their new album.
Sorry, Taylor Swift. Ooh. Was that a little deep?
I don't know who these Tool guys are. But...
Oh, I know. They haven't put out an album in 13 years, but I mean, just that got crazy quick.
Yeah, that escalated.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was like when who was it? Somebody sampled Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, Post Malone. Post Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone.
They're like, oh, well, this Ozzy Osbourne guy, Post Malone just put him on the map. I'm like,
Ozzy's old enough to draw that motherfucking map.
Right. He's old enough to be Post Malone's grandfather. That guy has sold over 100 million albums. He has shit in the plant of RCA Records. What was it? The elevator. Yeah, he shit in the plant in the elevator. Bit the head off of a bat.
He's the
and
incumbent of rock and roll.
Right. You talk about rock and roll lifestyle. Ozzy Osbourne is the epitome.
Well, and
thank you, Post Malone. Thanks for making Ozzy Osbourne. Shout out to
my special boy.
Who the fuck is Post Malone?
I don't know. I don't listen. To
Yeah. I seen that meme today. It's like he's the 0.1% that Lysol doesn't kill.
Ooh, damn.
Germs. Yeah.
Fucking Facebook is savage. And you know, getting back to participation trophies, that's again, I'm 100% sold on this. You're probably not going to be able to change my mind, but the difference is I am open to it. But that's another way for parents to fuck up their kids.
I tell you
I mean, 100%.
I tell you what, we've talked about this before. I'm going to throw down because
Here we go. I'm rolling up the sleeves. Here we go.
Kind of irritates the shit out of me. All right. So, personally, participation trophies for like little kids, like 3-4 years old, that are just learning the fundamentals. That's great. That is just a great idea because the kids go out, all they're learning, here, swing, don't hit me with this fucking bat, don't hit the kid next to you. Here, use your glove, scoop the ball up, put it in front of you, don't let the ball hit you in the face. They're teaching you the fundamentals. Okay, cool. Everybody gets a little, you either get a little necklace or, you get some kind of, little itty bitty trophy, $3 trophy you get at fucking dollar store. All right, cool. Now, when kids get older, they're 10, 12 years old, and they're telling them, oh, well, everybody matters. Bullshit. You are teaching this child that you can't lose.
Yeah.
Now, without a child learning to lose, what kind of a winner are they ever going to be? You put them into a fucking sport. You pay $400 to put them into this fucking sport that they don't even want to play to begin with, and now mommy and daddy get a participation trophy because this kid is over there picking his fucking nose in the outfield because he doesn't want to play this shit
He's
sport.
gonna do it again. You know that, right? I play right field. It's the best part you know. You gotta learn how to catch. You gotta learn how to throw. That's why I play in right field. Way out where the dandelions grow. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, circa 1992 on
I'm thinking
VHS.
like 88.
Well, whatever. That wasn't. I didn't fact check
Yeah,
that.
sing it to me, baby. Sing it to me.
Sing it to me one time.
Yeah,
but yeah, absolutely. It's
and then people make fun of them for getting a participation trophy. Yeah, you're damn right. You're getting made fun of. You know why? Because you don't deserve it. If you didn't work your ass off, and then the parents, like you were telling me the other day, the parents get all pissed off because, oh my God, why didn't my kid play? Because your kid doesn't want to fucking play. Your kid wants to play with the other kids. He's here. This is a fucking social gathering for him. He's not here to play a sport.
No.
I'm sorry. He's not the next fucking A-Rod.
Kids are always excited to play any sport
That
at
there's
any
other
given
children.
time. One time. That second time where you have to stop them playing a video game or some shit, and you're like, hey, it's baseball practice. Well, I don't want to go, though. I'm not really interested.
I don't want to put
I'm in
my
the middle
iPad
of something
down, or I don't want to put my my whatever down. I don't want to put the video games down. That's why my kids, I gave them tablets. They have a certain time they can play, but they fuck that up all the time.
And
my
older
kids,
generations are going to be like, well, that's the problem. You're handing them a tablet. It's a handheld TV.
right?
I was
my
sat
thing
down in
is-
front of a TV when I didn't have a
right,
babysitter.
37 fucking hours a day. You were
It's the
stuck
same
in front of a
thing.
TV.
Yeah. Same goddamn thing. So don't argue that point. Go on, please.
Well, and the thing is, my kids, I give them the tablets and I let them play for a little bit, and they lose them more often than they have them. I couldn't even tell you where my youngest daughter's tablet is. I don't even think she knows where it is, which works out real well for me.
Yeah.
Except for when they're
Took care of itself.
right, and except for when they're like, "Daddy, can I play on your phone?"
Nah, bro.
Kiss the fattest, whitest part of my ass.
But there we go. There's a lesson right there, right? What I hate is when a parent like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Because you're not teaching that child anything right now. What you're teaching that child is they don't have to maintain their own equipment. They don't have to charge their own stuff. They don't have to ensure that thing, if they want to play on it,
that thing
is ready to interact with. You hand them yours, and now you're inconvenienced. What if you need the phone? And then you got to fight the kid to get the phone back.
right.
I
will throw fucking elbows. I will whip a kid's ass to get my phone back.
Tell your kid no. What you should have done was charge your phone. What you should have done was made sure that you knew where it was. This isn't my problem. This is your problem.
Exactly.
Now it's your turn to problem solve.
Right.
Because that's what we don't raise children. That drives me nuts. I hate that fucking phrase. We don't raise children. We raise adults. You're not raising an adult to be a kid. Don't hold your kid back. You need to fucking raise that child to interact with a society that does not give a shit about their opinions or beliefs or whatever. You're raising a goddamn adult, and you're not going to raise an adult by thinking that they could just mooch off of other people. Oh, well, my phone's dead because I was irresponsible and didn't charge it. Let me borrow yours. No, fuck that. No, not at all. What?
Nothing. I was listening to your rant.
Sorry.
You listen to mine. I listen to yours.
Yeah, I was very passionate about that.
Right.
And
I was digging it. I kind of got a little chubby right there.
Success takes pain, and that's an ugly fact, but it does. It takes
Right.
pain.
It's like
and
watching
suffering.
any kind of sports, any kind of athlete. Watching them play, except for the women's soccer team, fuck them. Well, at least that one chick that was.
Yeah, that one chick that just dropped the flag.
dropped
was
the
like,
flag.
fuck it,
Yeah.
it's your time,
And then-
Fluffy.
Yeah, look at me, I won. I'm gimme.
Yeah.
I'm better than everybody.
And then that one stellar that had absolute on point
Yeah, she
raising
went.
about
She went and
fucking
picked it up.
dedication,
Yeah,
loyalty. Yeah,
went and picked up the flag. Yeah,
Man, I'm about to get mad and turn this into political rant. We're gonna move on.
yeah.
Go back.
We're on bullying. We're on bullying.
Woo! Damn. Okay. But yeah, and it goes back to I watched things clicked into place for me. My girlfriend made me watch the show It's Me or the Dog. Okay.
Fuck
Now-
that dog.
Dude, that dog was a fucking nightmare, right? It kept biting everybody, just biting fucking shit out of people.
Bite that motherfucker back.
And
That's how you train a dog.
That's the thing right there. You bite the dog,
And that's
right?
the same with kids, and that's what I hate because
when-
people are like, oh well, I know he's hitting you, and he pulled a fucking knife on you, which we don't even know where he got the knife from, but we need to sit him in a lonely spot, and we need to console him. No, you take the knife from that little bastard, you throw a fucking elbow, and that kid comes at you again. You're gonna fight. Because you are not going to raise an asshole.
Yeah.
Or you are. Because when I go into the fucking mall looking for some obscure whatever bullshit I need, because I hate going to that fucking place anyways, but I walk into the mall and some 13-year-old kid's throwing a fucking temper tantrum because they want
Mommy,
something.
I want the
Give me. No, and they're not even saying, Mommy, I want. They're saying, bitch, give me. Bitch, give me.
I mean, you're
My
right.
kid says
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry. They're going to be missing about 6 fucking teeth because I'm going to knock them down their goddamn throat.
Good luck shitting those out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Whoa. Was that a stab, bro? Was that a stab?
no,
Was
that
that
was
a stab?
That's my bad. That was my bad.
Yeah. Dude.
And I mean, here's the thing. You as a parent, I have a buddy that's like, well, what the dog is trying to do is he's trying to command ownership of you. He thinks he's the leader of the pack. Sound psychology, absolutely. I totally 100% support this situation.
I had a
with
dog,
the dog
do that shit one time. He bit me, and I picked him up by his fucking throat. As he bit me about 3 times. He bit me 3 times. I grabbed him by his throat. And everybody's like, what are you doing, that dog? Motherfucker, he's got his
He's gonna
teeth.
learn it-
He's got
gonna
his
learn his
teeth.
place.
I got my arms. And I picked him up by his throat. Dog weighed 70 pounds. I picked him up by his throat. They're like, you're going to hurt him. I'm like, I'm showing dominance now, aren't I?
Yeah, and my buddy's solution to showing dominance.
It's either that or shoot him because he wasn't going to
Now,
stop
there's a
biting
third
me.
option. I'm gonna.
Yeah, well,
think
he
about it.
wasn't stopping biting me. He was a rescue dog, and he bit my daughter, he bit my wife, and then he come after me. Motherfucker, you're lucky you're not
My
dead. Because I
buddy's
had a
solution-
knife in my pocket.
Is jellyfish him,
Do tell.
piss on him. Legit, he told his 6-year-old son, "You need to urinate upon the dog."
You know, that would have been great in the situation I was in, except for the fact that he was biting me.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to whip out my dick while a dog is biting me because, hey, look, there's something
Yeah,
else to bite.
Hot dogs, what up?
Hot diggity.
But like that's and I think that sound I ain't doing it. I'm not peeing on a dog. It's weird. It's some R. Kelly shit.
The only time I would pee on somebody or something is if they got stung by a jellyfish,
That's
which I've
not
had to
even a
do
thing.
when I lived in Sicily.
It's the ammonia. Yeah, I mean that's a whole.
Oh no, it does. Trust me. I've been stung 3 times by jellyfish. Trust me. It takes the burnout. I don't give a shit. Pee on me. I don't give a fuck.
I guess that's the problem.
I don't care what kind of equipment you got. You better fucking pee on me because this shit's gonna go bad.
So I'm watching the show, and this lady's psychology to it makes total sense. She's like, "Quick question. So the dog's bitten you. All right, cool. When did you get it?" And they're like, "I got the dog at 5 weeks." She's like, "Oh,
Oh, wasn't even weaned
Oh.
yet.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
so didn't have time to get his ass kicked by his brothers and sisters.
bam, there it is." We want, as parents and as teachers, we want to rush in and help children that are getting bullied with this zero tolerance bullying bullshit that propagates tattling. You're making the situation worse from the kid. I don't understand. Did teachers and parents just
Snitches get
forget?
stitches.
Yeah, snitches get stitches, and it's almost like we forgot what it's like to be at that age, and that's the
Right.
biggest conundrum into being a parent is that we forget what it's like to be that kid's age. When you go up to a teacher and be like, "Well, little Johnny, fucking," eh. Not only does that teacher not give a fuck about your problems, because
Now, if a motherfucker comes at me and says he's going to stab me or shoot me, yeah, I'm sorry. If I'm in an elementary school and a kid tells me that, yeah, guess what? I'm going to the principal or the teacher and be like, look, this dude just threatened my life. Now, he didn't threaten me an ass whipping. He said he has a knife, he has a gun, he is going to end my being. That's a whole other ball.
Law enforcement officers, they need to do something about that. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But this lady's logic was like, okay, so you got these dogs. They don't understand how painful the bite is. Okay? They're just, that's how they play. They don't have opposable thumbs, dick. Like, you know, pay attention. They play with their mouths. That's what they do. And they bite each other. Now, when one bites too hard, the other one yelps. And then the dog, maybe it's thinking, bro, you're a pussy. I didn't bite you that hard. That dog turns around and bites that dog. He's like, ow, that fucking hurt. Those teeth are
children are the same way.
Children are we are animals. Human beings are fucking animals in the story.
What?
I know. What is this new information? Just
you
because we
and
can
me,
build
baby,
this
ain't
badass
nothing but
bar
mammals,
that we're
so let's
sitting at.
do it. Wait, what?
Come on now. But you know, like you're taking when you intervene.
Yeah,
You're taking away your child's sense of repercussion, because when you turn around and bust that kid in the mouth for flicking your ear on the school bus, because I did that. That was the thing that happened. I was so passive
and the thing is, you cannot fucking do that nowadays. Because if you do that nowadays, you're expelled from school. You're kicked off the bus. And that kid wants to come back and fight you, but he's not going to fight you fair like it used to be.
No.
Now it's going to be 3-on-1 or 4-on-1. They're going to try and jump you because ain't nothing fair about anything. Like, how many times have we gotten in fist fights, and afterwards, we may walk away, but 10 minutes later, hey, right here.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Yeah, exactly. 20.
Hands down. 20, yeah, 20, god damn, 25.
23, 25, 20. 96.
Taurus.
Born in
1775. I'm like 300 and something.
But alive.
And that's the whole thing. You've got to let these kids work out their own problems. I'm not propagating child violence by any stretch of the imagination or anything like that. But, like...
Don't take away their sense of being who they are, either.
Yeah, this kid flicked my ear every day for 2 school years.
Do you even remember his name?
I do, and I'm not going to say it.
I remember mine, too, and I'm not going to say his name. He's a big motherfucker.
Mine's dead.
Oh.
Died at the intersection of Moreland and 7 Highway.
We'll talk about that off air.
We'll go off air with that. I turned around with a back fist one day. I had enough. I was extremely pessimistic. My mom has always said, if you stand up for yourself, and I believe in this, I didn't have the equipment to deal with it back then.
Right.
I didn't believe in harming another individual for any reason, which, looking back, batshit crazy. But he kept doing it. And I told him to stop, and it was like an everyday thing. I turned around with a back fist. It was clumsy. It was ugly. It was not constructive at all. And he blocked it. And I just sat back down. I never got my ear flicked ever again.
No shit.
Yeah, I didn't even have to hit him. He just knew that he had to hit that breaking point. I yelped, and I turned around and bit him. And then that dude stopped. Never again did I have to deal with it.
Nice.
You don't have to. But now, if I got suspended, I learned that I couldn't yelp. I learned that I would have learned that I couldn't bite back. What happens there? What's the pathway? Where do we go with that?
Right.
Oh, well, my parents believe in the Second Amendment, and I'm going to twist that to my advantage, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to show everybody what the fuck I'm made of.
Right.
And now, my mom always said, I swear to God, if I get called into school because you stood up for yourself and you hit somebody, I'll be like, I don't know what to tell you, teach.
Sorry.
Sucks to suck.
Shit happens when you party naked.
He's gonna end up out of school for a couple days. He'll sit at home on a Sega Genesis, and I'm gonna tell him good job. You stuck up for what you believed in.
God, you keep dating us, bro.
I know, right?
I'm not doing any better myself, man.
Oh man.
Well, I'll tell you what, Garen. We are damn near an hour into this, and
shit, look at the time.
Look at that time, son. Let's not try to bore these people. Our next topic we haven't chose yet, but hopefully we can...
Cyberbullying. I think we should continue this and go into... Because cyberbullying is a whole different world.
Okay, apparently we have made up our mind. We're going to go into cyberbullying.
I'm just saying, because cyberbullying is where it's kicking off now, you know?
We'll take cyberbullying into probably another issue as well, because we're pretty good about getting off topic a little bit.
A little bit.
We'll do a little bit of research, and we'll see you next time around for Drunken Ramblings of a Sober Mind. This is Jimmy.
This is Garen.
And we'll see you next time.
Later, taters.